This is it, people. This is what you've been waiting for. This is Everyday Celebrity Podcast. The podcast for everyday people with everyday problems, trying to find everyday solutions to accomplish everyday goals. Let's start the show. Welcome to another episode of Everyday Celebrity Podcast. No one podcast in Oakland, no one podcast in the Bay Area. I am your host, Jordan Nwandi. Today is a special day. We have another creator on hand for today's episode. We're just going to shoot the shit, try to get to know her, learn about her background and shit. She is an educator. She is a coach. I don't really know what type of coach, but we'll find that out. And she is a traveler. She goes by the name of Clara. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
How was your day today?
Can't complain. Had a really nice, relaxing day.
Yeah. Are all your days relaxing, mostly?
I think it's just what you make it. But I actually ended up having a conversation with someone that I was dating, and we got some closure, and it was nice to kind of just hash things out.
Well, I didn't want to get into it this early, but what's going on with that? What was the closure about?
Just basically, when we broke up, I didn't really tell him what was on my mind about how things ended on my end. So then I just wanted to touch base about that and be like, hey, are you open to my perspective? And he said yes. And then we talked and,
You ended things?
No, he did.
What was the reason for him ending things?
That he felt like we're not compatible and that we are growing apart, which is fair.
How long were you guys together?
About 8 months.
How long did you guys date before it became official?
I think like 2 months or something like that.
Do you think 2 months is long enough to get to know someone before you make it official?
I think that it really depends on the person, what you're looking for, how well you know yourself. It just depends on a lot of different. I don't really think that there's a correct, quote unquote, time frame.
Who asked who to be official?
He did.
He did?
Yeah.
After 2 months?
Mm-hmm.
And then 8 months go by?
Mm-hmm.
And then you guys break up?
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to stay with him?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
He made me want to be a better person. He inspired me.
Mm-hmm. Inspired you in how? In what way?
Just the way that, he lives his life is just very admirable.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of discipline. Very goal-oriented, really ambitious, trying to be better every day.
Did you cry when you guys break up?
Of course.
When did you guys break up?
We broke up, I think it was March, so pretty recent. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did he say when you expressed all this shit?
I mean, I don't want to get into it too much, but he gave me his perspective and he thanked me and kind of gave me some context around why certain things happened and then apologized to me, and then that was pretty much it.
What are you like in a relationship? Are you like, cause you're Mexican, right?
Yeah. I was born in Mexico City.
Okay. So, there's I wouldn't say a rumor, but there's a,
stereotype?
Yeah. Stereotype about Mexican women. How they're like,
let's hear it.
I mean, I've dated a Mexican woman before for 5 years. Okay. And I'm just talking about her. I'm not talking about all Mexican women.
There's a stereotype that you created.
No, there's a stereotype, but I'm not saying what I'm about to describe I'm about to describe her. I'm not going to describe all Mexican women, but she was crazy.
So she fit
Very
the
jealous.
stereotype.
She did to a T. She was crazy. She was jealous.
Okay, what does crazy and jealous mean? How does that translate?
I mean, crazy as to the point where when I wanted to hang out with my friends and shit, she would hold me and grab my shirt, won't let me leave the house.
That sounds
type
pretty
of crazy. She would pop up at my house. I mean, I can admit that I was doing dirt.
Oh,
but she didn't know that. She didn't know that.
Wait, she didn't know that, or she did know that, and
she assumed
you.
I was slick with my shit.
See, whenever I hear guys describe their ex as crazy, I'm like, well, what did you do to make her act like that?
I mean, she was in love, and she.
Wait, you were doing dirt?
I did cheat on her, but she was, man, she was crazy though. I mean, that doesn't.
Okay, well,
that doesn't like that give before? A pass to all the physical shit.
No,
that
you're
she
right,
was
100%.
She used to slap me and shit, hit me and all this other stuff.
Yeah, that's not okay.
So, and she was very jealous too. So, yeah, she was crazy.
Yeah.
So is the stereotype true about all Mexican women? I mean, they say that that Mexican women have like a spicy attitude. That's why a lot of black men.
That's why what?
That's why a lot of black men like to date Mexican women.
Interesting.
I'm sure you heard that. I'm not talking crazy, right?
No, I've heard that. I've heard all sorts of things. But okay, so you asked me what am I like in a relationship? Mm-hmm. I mean, I would say that I'm very giving, and it's funny that you asked about my heritage because I think that Latinos or Latin people in general can be very warm. And so for me, I'm very like community oriented, family oriented, giving. I take relationships seriously. So I'm going to try to put my best foot forward, and then they put their best foot forward, and then we can grow together and like build together. So
you're not crazy. You're not jealous?
I mean, I think jealousy is a natural human emotion, but it just really depends what you do with that, you know, and how you react to that. But I mean, I had no problem with him going out with his friends or, you know, whatever, because I trusted him. So.
Okay. So you say you're from Mexico City, that's born and raised?
Born, yeah. Raised in San Francisco.
When did you, or do you remember leaving Mexico City?
I do, yeah.
How old were you?
I was 5 years old. And I talked to my mom the other day, and in July was our 25th year anniversary of us moving here.
Oh, you guys celebrate that?
No, but I had asked her, and then she's like, oh, well, we just made 25 years. So I was like, oh, interesting.
Did she come here like legally?
No, we came, this was before 9/11, so there wasn't really Homeland Security. And so we just came on a bus through Tijuana.
You just came into San Diego?
I don't remember where.
Well, if you came through Tijuana, then you had to come to San Diego mostly. Okay. And your parents were together when that happened?
No, they had a very have a very complicated relationship. So my mom had me when she was 18. My dad was 21. They didn't know what they were doing. So they were just kids having kids trying to figure it out. So their relationship has always been very chaotic.
So when your mom came to the U.S., she was by herself?
Yeah. She came just with me and the clothes on her back, and she tracked down my dad. And
your dad was out here already?
This is probably proving your stereotype about Mexican women. Because my mom was like, nope, you're not getting rid of us. So
he was trying to run from y'all. Damn.
My mom was like, nope. So.
And he was already, so when your mom came, he was already in the United States?
Yeah, my dad was here.
In like the Bay Area?
Yeah, he was in San Francisco.
How did your mom track him down?
Look, I don't know. I don't know. So
when she tracked him down, did they get
was like,
back
hey,
together?
We're in Tijuana. Come get us. And he said, no. And she said, well, we're going to stay here until you get us. And then so he got us.
Okay. So they got back together.
Yeah. And then they ended up breaking up, to no one's surprise. Yeah.
Did your mom like remarry or date someone else?
Yeah.
Do you have like stepbrothers?
For my dad's side, yeah, because he remarried as well.
Okay. Are you close with them?
They're a lot younger, so not as much, but I see them when I can.
Are you the only child on?
No. So I have a brother and a sister, full with my mom and dad, and then I have a bunch of step siblings and half siblings, but they're all my siblings.
But everyone's out here?
I have a brother in Mexico City.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you recently went to Mexico City, correct? Mm-hmm. How was that?
It was fun. It was actually a group trip with a couple friends and then my ex. And yeah, it was fun though. I had a good time.
What did you guys do?
We traveled. We walked around a lot, ate really good food. just kind of things were closed, so we just kind of let the wind take us where it would. And, yeah.
Okay. Is Mexico City like the only place that you've been to out of the country?
No, I've been to a few places. I mean, I don't really know the list off the top of my head, but I think I've been to at least like a dozen countries.
What was the best?
Best in what way?
Like which place did you enjoy the most? Have the most fun?
I would say Barcelona.
Yeah, I've been to Barcelona before.
It's cool.
It's beautiful.
The food's kind of whack, but I like everything else.
Food was amazing.
Well, from the Spanish food that I had, it was all right.
Did you have the paella?
Yeah, which paella is good, but I mean more so everyday local food.
I had the best. We were like eating like McDonald's and shit.
No, so I was there for 2 months, and so I mean I was eating a lot of tapas, so papas bravas, huevos. I forget what they call their huevos, but
yeah, I had the best shrimp I ever ate in my life was in Barcelona, in this little hole in the wall place. It was amazing.
Yeah, when were you there?
I don't remember the exact month, but I was there for like 2 weeks. Yeah, by myself, just traveling. It was nice. Did you experience any? Well, I don't know how Spaniards look toward Mexicans. Did you experience
any discrimination? Yeah, so it's interesting because people couldn't really tell what I am, or they couldn't really.
I mean, you don't look to me. You don't look like you're like a Spaniard, like Spain.
Right. So
they look white.
Yeah, some of them do look white, but some of them do look more misty. So I guess, and people thought I was Indian. I don't know. People thought I was all sorts of things. But when I was talking to the Spaniards, if I told them I was Mexican, then they would kind of look down on me. So I would have to tell them I'm American. And then for Europeans, they loved that I was, other Europeans love that I was Mexican. So it was really interesting. And then I also had a white friend she's from Arizona, and her experience was so different to mine. Yeah. Like she experienced a lot of, it's almost weird. Like the guys that approached me, and that's what you mean, right? Or just in general? Just in general. Okay, well, it was, yeah. So, for example, when guys would approach us and we were out, they would assume that she was quote unquote easy or try to get in her pants right away and stuff. Yeah. Versus with me, they would be more respectful. It was just a really interesting distinction and very I feel obvious. Like that's what men think of white women everywhere. So it was just interesting to see that as well. But it was more prevalent there. Well, she said anyways. Was she easy? No, I don't think so. What does that even mean? I mean, you know what the fuck it means. All right, so what was the worst place you ever traveled to? Place I've ever been. Worst place I've ever been. Like worst experience, worst. Just like when you went, you didn't really enjoy it that much. I don't know. I try to make the best of anywhere I go, so it's hard to really answer that. Okay. I don't really have too many bad times, if that makes sense. What do you like about traveling so much? I love that when you travel, your brain is just absorbing everything, and then I feel like you can learn so much, and then just getting to experience different cultures. Talking with locals, obviously seeing really beautiful sights, trying different types of food. It's a really dope experience. Okay. So when you came to the States, you were obviously young, like you said, 5? Yeah, I was 5. And when you guys came to the States, you came straight to the Bay Area? No, we lived in LA for a bit because I have an uncle there, and then we stayed with him for a little bit. And then, yeah, we came to the Bay. What was the reason for coming to the Bay? My dad was here. Oh, okay. And what was he doing as far as work-wise? He was working, so he moved out here because he was working in Mexico with like the Mexican equivalent of PG&E. And so he was doing work out here. So he came here and got a job at PG&E? I don't remember the name of the company, but it's like the Mexican equivalent of that. Okay. Yeah. What was it like growing up for you? Were you guys in Oakland? No, in San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Yeah,
okay.
I moved to Oakland in 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, but what was it like growing up?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Like
it was
in your household.
in my household.
What was it like?
It was just chaos. It was
Yeah?
chaotic. Yeah, my parents are like, no.
Was your dad like abusive to your mom?
I mean, probably.
Mm.
You know, I don't know. It's hard to. I feel like, it's really hard for me to say because they both have their own version, and I don't remember experiencing that or witnessing that. And then to me, he's been a great father. So I don't know.
So he's still in your life?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they didn't like really separate until you were like older, right?
I was like 9 or 10.
Oh, 9. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I live with my dad mostly. So I was raised with my dad and my grandmother.
Mm.
Yeah.
So what school did you go to in San Francisco?
I went to Galileo and then I went to Jefferson.
What type of high school kid were you? What type of kid were you in high school?
I really kept to myself, and then I would always just walk around with a book because that was my escape. Just kind of trying to go under the radar, not be noticed. You know.
Did you go to college?
Yeah, I did. I went to Laney.
Laney?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you study?
Liberal arts. Because I'm still undecided. So I'm in tech. I've been in tech for 10 years. And one of my dreams is to be a teacher. But I don't know if I want to be a teacher or if I want to do something like be a psychologist. So I'm still kind of undecided on that.
How long have you been in Laney?
I don't know, a few years.
You still there?
Yeah, because I don't know what route I want to take. So I'm kind of in this
figure that shit
decision paralysis. I mean, I have time. So I was doing volunteer work last week and I ended up meeting a retired teacher. He was teaching at Berkeley High and he was only there for 11 years. And so he told me that he had his long career where he was able to establish himself financially and then end up becoming a high school teacher and then retire as that. So there's always just different.
I mean, you can be a teacher now if you wanted to. You don't really have to have, was that teaching credentials or whatever?
No, where's this?
I mean, you can teach at private schools or charter schools, right?
That's true.
It's only public schools where you need all that paperwork.
That's true. I thought about that as well. Yeah.
What do you want to teach?
So I don't know yet. So that's why I'm still I feel like once I figure that out, then I'll know what steps to take.
Why do you want to teach?
I think that, I love kids, first of all. And I mean, each one teach one. I just think that like with an education, you can accomplish a lot and want to help liberate other people's minds. Yeah.
You want to teach like what, high school? Or?
I'm not sure. That's why I'm like, because on one hand, I love little kids, like second graders, so precious. And then also on the other hand, I think it is really important to have someone that cares as much as I feel like I do, especially a woman of color with like high school students. I'd probably be teaching Black and brown students. So I think that's also important. So I don't know. We'll see.
So I'm assuming you don't have kids?
No.
Yeah. Most people who say they love kids don't have kids. Yeah. All right. So you're at Laney. Studying.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I lost my train of thought.
Wait, do you like kids?
No, I don't like kids.
No, you don't like kids at all. Why is that?
I don't know. I'm just not a kid person.
What does that mean?
That means when I see children, I'm like, I'm not trying to play with you.
Is it other people's kids or just you don't like kids?
Just kids in general.
Do you want kids?
I don't even fuck with my nieces and nephews. Like when they come visit, I'm like, oh, hey, what's up?
Why do you think that is?
I mean, a lot of reasons. The way I was raised.
How were you raised?
Well, this interview is not about me, so.
Wait, I thought you said we were going to shoot the shit.
Yeah, about you.
Oh.
Yeah, no one asked me questions on this.
No?
Yeah,
is that not allowed?
It's not allowed.
I don't remember seeing that.
But anyways, I don't like kids.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you what do you like about psychology?
It's just interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah, I think that's the path you should go on.
Why is that?
Oh, you can do a lot of things with that degree.
Like what?
Anything. You can get hired.
Anything?
You can get hired by companies. I mean, because psychology, you're studying people. Like,
right. I feel like I do that anyways, though.
People
without
do a
the
lot
degree.
Well,
Getting the degree would just be the credentials to.
I mean, shit. Well, if you want the big bucks, I mean, anyone can say, "Oh, yeah, hire me, and I'll find people to work here." Like anyone could say that, but if the same person comes up after you says, "Yeah, hire," and says that same thing, but I have a degree from Stanford, hire me. Who do you think they're gonna hire?
In this day and age, probably the person with a degree.
Yeah, exactly. So, so like I said, you can do a lot of shit with that degree. I mean, companies can hire you to find people to work at their company. You can be a guidance counselor. You can do sports psychology. You can do therapy. You can do a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. And it's more money in teaching.
Definitely.
Teaching, I feel like everyone says, "Oh, teachers need this, more money in this." I mean, yeah, that's true, but there's a shit ton of bad teachers out there.
There are.
I think there's more bad teachers than good teachers, obviously, because if you look at the statistics of these students, like their reading level is horrible, like their graduation rate is horrible, and then all the good teachers don't even go to the schools where they're really needed. They forget the whole point of teaching. Like, teaching is to, like, if you're a great teacher, you should want to go to the bad school. You know what I'm saying? To help the kids that really need help, instead of going to like Piedmont and going to the school where these kids they're getting private lessons even away from school, and then they go to school and these kids, they don't really need that.
Yeah.
They're reading like they're reading like the Thorses at like in 5th grade and shit. So they don't really need.
Yeah, their parents probably have the resources to help them.
Yeah.
And when you mentioned charter schools and private schools, that's why I haven't gone that route.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. So they want to go to the schools where they can just chill and shit instead of being like really challenged. So that's why I say, like, yeah, teachers deserve pay raises and shit, but I mean, you should get paid based on the performance. So if your school you're a fucked up teacher, then why do you think you should deserve?
So what do you think makes a bad teacher and a good teacher?
Well, bad teacher I think is a person. I mean, your students. Like if you're a teacher, right, and the majority of your children fail your class.
Oh my gosh.
Then you're a bad teacher. Like teacher should be failing. No kid should be failing.
Right.
A class, like if you're a good teacher.
Yeah, I've never understood teachers that will fail students. I mean, maybe that's the last resort, but I don't think that's the point of educating.
Because if the kid fails, it's not on the kid.
Teacher.
It's not on the kid. It's on you for not being able to teach this fucking kid what's 2 + 2.
Right.
So I mean, that's your fault. So
I hear that.
You shouldn't be failing.
I hear that.
I mean, you shouldn't, but on the same breath, you shouldn't be passing kids just to pass them. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah, I actually taught for a few months at a nonprofit. I was teaching 18 to 24-year-olds. And that experience really solidified my love and passion for being a teacher. And I'm not going to name names, but teachers that I worked alongside with, we would be teaching the same curriculum. And at the end of the day, when our students took the same test, theirs would fail. I'm like, how? You've been doing this for over a decade and I just started a few months ago? Yeah. So.
What teacher is this?
I'm not going to name names.
Well, we got to get them out of the school. What teacher?
No. I mean, I hear you, and at the same time.
What school is this? Or what? All right.
I'm not going to say.
All right. So you're into activism, right?
Yeah. I would say so. I mean, it's weird because I wouldn't consider myself an activist. I think it's just standing up for others. But
do you have any issues like you're really passionate about?
World hunger.
World hunger.
It sounds like that sounds like a pageant answer, huh?
Yeah, it is. I want to make the world a better place.
I mean, we have the resources now to end world hunger. So
do we?
We do, yeah.
Who has the resources? Just the United States?
Yeah, actually, there's so much food goes to waste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the answer to that specific thing? Wasting food, like when you go to a restaurant,
So
people take a bite of the spaghetti. Oh, I don't like it, and then they just throw the whole thing away.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of orgs that are already doing great work around that. So one org that I know, I can't remember the name, but I have a friend that runs and does food delivery. So they get food delivered to them from restaurants that is expired or about to be expired, but still really good food. And then they deliver it to families in Oakland.
Do you know that in grocery stores, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say you fill your basket up with food. You go
yes.
You go to the checkout line. You have meat in the basket.
Yes.
And then they ring it. Then you're like, oh, I don't want this meat anymore.
Yes.
They got to throw that meat away.
Yeah. Yeah, I do know that. Yeah.
Do you think that should change? Why do you think that should change, and why do you think they do that?
I mean, I try not to use the word should, but I would like for that to change. And what was the question?
Well, like, what's the reason for doing that? Do you think?
I would guess if you're talking about specifically meat, I would guess that maybe they don't know how long the person was walking around with that meat for. So they probably don't want to potentially expose someone to getting sick.
Because I think they only do that with meat. Like, you bring a bag of chips to the front, they'll just put them back in the shelf.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
Were you in the store for 30 minutes or 3 hours? Who knows?
Yeah.
So it's probably a safety thing.
Yeah. How do you feel about that girl who got caught that was licking the ice cream, putting it back in the...
How do I feel about her?
Did you hear that story a long time ago? Do you think she should go to jail?
Doing well.
Do you think she should go to jail?
No.
No?
No. I'm literally wearing a shirt that says close youth prisons and build youth leaders. I feel like she was young, yeah.
Yeah, we can skip that
20s.
question. That was just a random stupid question. So what do prisons? How do you feel about those?
I mean, I think we could do a better job at that whole thing. I mean,
youth
what
prisons.
Kind of question is
There's youth prisons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Youth prisons. Like, explain your shirt.
Explain my shirt.
Yeah.
It's a nonprofit called Courage, and that they're working on closing youth prisons. Yeah, I did some work with them, some admin work. And I really believe in their mission statement.
Do you know that it costs more to house one prisoner than it costs for a kid to go to college?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think we have too many prisons?
I do, yeah. And I don't think that they should be privatized.
Do you think that will ever change in this country?
I think so.
You think so? Why do you think so?
I think that people are starting to care more. And I think people have always cared. But I think that people
about black and brown people being locked up?
Yeah. I think
people
so.
Starting to care more?
I think so. I think that we're becoming aware of our power more and then of the change that we can actually make. Yeah.
Okay. Why do you think on issues that regard that concern brown people, why do you think they don't raise hell more? Like when you look at black people, right? Like a black person can get like murdered by the police, and we won't know the details or anything about it, but we're gonna, like, before we even know, we're going crazy out in the streets, protesting and all this shit, right? I mean, there's brown people there too, obviously, white people. But when something happens to, like, Mexicans, right? I'm gonna use an example. When those Mexican children were getting locked up at the border, separating from their kids. Now, if those were black kids, like, we'll be going crazy, like burning shit down, going down to Tijuana and shit like that. Why do you think there wasn't? Why do you think there wasn't more outrage and protests with Mexicans? Because I didn't hear shit.
Yeah, that's a good question. And I'm not too, I mean, I've thought about it for sure, but and this is just my opinion. I haven't really done any research on it, but I would say that a lot of it has to do with fear. And so, so you said Mexicans, and it's a lot of different types of Latin people, but I would say that in general, Latins have been in this country for less time than African American people, obviously. And so maybe we don't feel like we have enough power, or there's still that fear, right? Or maybe we're not fed up enough. I don't know. But I do think that a lot of it is tied to fear of why people don't take action.
Yeah, because I was like, I mean, there can't be a bigger issue than that. Like taking people's little children, throwing them in cages, with little aluminum blankets. You know,
and a lot of people don't know, but our culture is pretty conservative as well. And there is, I think, some internalized shit that we have going on, because I've definitely heard people say, well, they shouldn't have came here like that, or well. And so I think part of it is maybe that crabs in a barrel mentality, where we're just pulling each other down and just kind of focusing on the differences instead of our similarities.
Yeah, because that I used to work where I used to work. Right, we had Mexicans work. I had Mexican employee, like coworkers, and they would like when there was issues, they'll be like, "No, listen, I don't want to get involved, or I don't want to say anything," and they'll be acting like they're scared to get like fired or something.
Yeah,
like it was like this job was like the only thing they had to live for, and if they lose it. And even though, like, there was shit that was going on that shouldn't be going on, they were scared to stand up for themselves. They were basically acting like black people were back in slavery days. Like, oh, I can't go against the master, and like, oh, you better be quiet, the master's coming. That type of shit.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, my guess is that immigrants may not feel empowered here. There's
but I'm not even talking about immigrants. These people were like
first generation.
They were fucking. They were Americans.
But were they?
They were citizens. No, they were. I don't know what generation they were.
I mean,
they were old. These were grown ass old men who were citizens who didn't have shit to worry about. Like had the same rights as me, but still, I just think it's part of their culture to turn the other cheek, or to like, oh, someone's getting robbed over there. Let me just turn my head so I don't have to get involved in it.
Yeah, and then maybe also part of the culture to listen more to authority. Yeah, I could see that as well.
Yeah, that's probably why there's not a lot of like Mexican like leaders. I mean, there's a lot of leaders, but what I'm telling you is like, you know, like civil rights, like civil rights leaders. You know how Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, like Angela Davis, like all those black leaders, like civil rights leaders. Yeah. But when you think of Mexicans, can you name 3 like leaders that? I mean, Cesar Chavez, obviously.
Dolores Huerta, Cesar Chavez. Putting me on the spot, and I'm not great with names.
Yeah. I mean, what'd you name 2? Okay. I didn't even know the second person you said. What was his name?
Dolores Huerta.
What was he?
It's a woman.
Oh, it's a woman.
She's a good activist.
Okay. Was that the girl with the unibrow?
That's Frida Kahlo. She's an artist. She was married to Diego Rivera.
Okay.
Also an artist. They're from Mexico City. That's the only reason why I know. Yeah.
Okay. Didn't he kill her?
No, she actually died. I think she had polio or something, and then she was also in a trolley accident that messed. I don't know. She had a really tragic life. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you like growing up in the Bay Area?
Do I like it?
Yeah. Do you like the Bay Area?
I would say so. Yeah.
Do you like it more now, or did you like it more when you were growing up as a teenager?
I would say now, just because I have more money, or I have money, period.
Duh, because you're fucking working. You weren't working as a teenager.
I was, though. Yeah. But Obviously not to the same extent.
Yeah.
I like it more now.
Because you have money.
Not just that. That was a joke. Also because I'm older, wiser, have a better support system.
When I say do you like it more now, I'm talking about do you like it the way like it is now? Like do you like every block you see a new high-rise apartment going up?
Like, you're asking about gentrification? How I feel about gentrification?
I mean, basically.
I mean, I think that word gets such a negative connotation, and I understand why. And I think it's complex. You know, technically, I would be considered a gentrifier because
you would be
technically, yeah. So I work in tech. When I moved into my neighborhood, and where I'm renting, it's a lot of families that live in. So it's families that live in single home units. It's like, and I'm able to live on my own and pay more than what a family could pay or afford to. And so in a roundabout way, I'm taking space from people that probably lived there before, right? Even though I'm brown, I can still be a gentrifier. So
you think you're a gentrifier just because you work in tech and you make money?
And because I moved into a neighborhood where it's like low income and so because I could pay basically like a 1-bedroom apartment and families probably could not. Basically, do you understand what I'm trying to say?
No. You moved into an apartment.
Okay, so what is a gentrifier?
I think gentrification is when they push out people in a neighborhood and change the whole neighborhood and make it to where the people that were living there can't afford to live there anymore. Right.
And so that's what I'm saying,
but you were just a person who were just looking for an apartment and boom, there it was. Okay. But you moved there. You didn't move there in the basically what I'm trying to say is you moved you were looking for something that you can afford on your own,
because I couldn't afford San Francisco, but I could afford Oakland.
Yeah, but gentrifiers will be like, yo, I'm taking this building. Even though I can afford to live somewhere else, I'm going to take this building because I see the future. I see that this area is going to be good real estate.
So
shit like that, where we can flip.
Why do you think people call? Because I've seen or heard people call. So, for example, if we happen to see a white person in my neighborhood, I've heard someone refer to them as a gentrifier. Why do you think that is then?
In your neighborhood?
Sure, yeah. That was just an example.
I mean, is your neighborhood a black neighborhood?
No, it's predominantly Hispanic. Or not Hispanic, but non-black, brown.
Yeah. And if they see a white person, they think they're a gentrifier?
Yeah.
I mean, probably they say that because, I mean, let's say 5 years in the past, you probably would never see that white person in that neighborhood. That same white person 5 years ago would probably be like, oh, I would never live in this neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? But now they probably live in that neighborhood because one, it's cheap to them, even though they can afford to live in a good neighborhood. One, it's just cheap to them. And then two is because like people will go buy houses in that neighborhood just because they're cheap houses. Like,
right.
Oh, I can't afford a house in like downtown Oakland or anything. So I'm going to go to East Oakland and buy this house and just have the house sit there until
excuse me,
all these other people come buy the house. So once, because everyone knows once if there's a black neighborhood and then once white people start moving in, the value of that neighborhood goes up. Everyone knows that. I mean, that's right. That's like an unwritten rule. So you have one white person buys a house, right, in a black neighborhood. They go tell their friends, "Oh, I just bought this fucking house in East Oakland for only $120,000." $120,000. Okay, boom. I get a mortgage loan. I get a loan for $500,000. I can't buy anything around the good parts of the Bay Area because the average house is like
good parts.
Yeah, the average houses are like $1 million, right? So what do? They're going to go to East Oakland and buy a house, even though they didn't want to live in East Oakland. Because I guarantee, if you asked them, would you rather live in East Oakland or have a house in like Piedmont or something? Oh, I'd rather have a house in Piedmont. So they buy a house in East Oakland because they can afford it. Now you got 2 white people on the block. Now the value, people are starting to notice, now the value of that block is going up. And then the more white people move into a neighborhood, you know what comes after that, right? Shit starts changing. These potholes in the street that's been there for 10 years.
That's how you know
finally
this is going to
fixed.
get gentrified.
Yeah.
They start fixing the potholes.
Next thing you know, fucking just like the streets start getting cleaned up.
Yeah.
Like crime goes down because police start patrolling because police got to protect the white people.
I saw a meme that was like, once in a while I go outside of my door and just shoot the gun in the air to keep the prices down.
I mean, it's funny, but it's true. And then the end of all things is when you see Starbucks and Whole Foods and shit pop up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Just like Telegraph, for example. You know that street where Kingfish is? Mm-hmm. That street.
No, what's that?
That street used to be bad. That used to be like a hood. That Temescal area used to be a hood way back in the day. And now what do you see? Shit, restaurants and everything.
Yeah. What do you think we should do about it?
Well, I don't know. There's any one thing that we should do. I mean, you can start by the people who own these houses stop selling them.
Why would they do that?
When these colonizers knock on your door and offer you money for this house, just don't sell it. I mean, that's one. Second is I mean, I don't really know if there's any laws that you can like make to prevent like people from living somewhere. I don't think you can do that. And I don't even believe you should do that. But yeah, that's the only thing that I can think of is just don't sell your property, have ownership. Because I mean, when you own property, that's like the best investment.
That's how you build intergenerational wealth.
Yeah, that's the best investment that you can have. Why do you think there's so many like Chinatowns? These people came here back in the day. They came. I'm ranting now, but anyway, there's so many Chinatowns because they came here back in the day for whatever reason, building railroads or whatever, bought houses, created their own community, and kept those houses, passed them down from generation to generation. That's why, like, if you go to Chinatown, you go to your friend's house, you know, like, your friend, you have like a Filipino friend or something, you go to their house, there's like a shit ton of people living in this big ass house. And this house gets passed down from generation to they don't sell it to
they work together, and I think we don't work together. And by we I mean black and brown. I should just probably say brown and not speak out of my
I mean, well, I'll say black, you say brown. So yeah, I think that's the reason. That's one way to stop it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, I agree. I think working together we could accomplish more.
Yeah.
What's that saying? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So, you're a trainer, right?
I'm a boxing coach. Yes.
Like an actual boxing coach?
Yes.
How long have you been boxing?
I've been boxing about 10 years on and off. Yeah.
What made you get into boxing?
So when I was 15, as you can imagine, due to my home life, I had a lot of emotions, and I started getting into a lot of fights at school, and my dad was like, no, you can't really have that. And so he put me in karate. And then... So
you have anger issues. Do you have anger issues?
No, I don't have anger issues anymore. This was when I was 15.
So you had anger issues when you were 15?
Yeah, I didn't know how to process what was going on, and it was a lot at the time.
Why were you getting in so many fights?
Well,
Were you like the cute girl? I mean, girls were hating on you or what?
I guess. But I didn't care about any of that. But so yeah, I did Muay Thai. My dad did Muay Thai as well, and so that was just kind of a way that we also bonded. And I did that for about 5 years. And then when I left my MMA or that gym, I was looking for a new Muay Thai gym, couldn't find one, and I ended up finding a boxing gym that I really liked. So I just stayed there.
What gym do you go to?
I forget what it's called, but what's that guy named? Hakeem. He's like
Hakeem
Mayfield or something, or
Hakeem Olajuwon.
No, he was like a Bay Area boxer. I'm terrible with names, by the way. Like a Bay Area boxer, kind of like Andre Ward. No, yeah. So kind of in that world, and so I went to his gym, and so I got trained in San Francisco when it was on 7th Street, and so I got trained by his trainer then, and I love boxing and kind of.
Have you ever fought anyone like professionally?
Yeah, so only in Muay Thai though. I didn't do any boxing.
So you had a professional Muay Thai fight?
It was a smoker, so it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't regulated. But yeah, we got in a ring and we fought.
Did you win?
I won 9 times and I lost once.
So. Do you still fight?
No, I just train. I just coach now. Yeah.
How come you don't fight anymore?
Gotta protect my face.
Okay. So you, why do you feel? So let's say this. Do you watch the Olympics?
I follow the Olympics a little bit.
How do you feel? So there's this big debate going on right now about trans women participating in Olympics, like going against like men who transition to be women, going against other like women who were born women in sport. And there's a lot of people who feel that shouldn't happen because they have an advantage. Even though they transition, they still have that male advantage, that male testosterone and shit that gives them an edge. What's your take on that?
I don't follow it enough to have formed an opinion that I feel comfortable sharing.
I mean, you don't have to be politically correct, and I'm not asking you because for a professional opinion. I'm just asking, do you think men who transition to be women, do you think they should be able to compete against ordinary women?
Well, I think that they're both women, and just they're both women. And I mean, I don't know, why not?
So you're saying yeah?
Yeah, why not? They're women, why not?
So a man, right? Let's take boxing, for example. You have a woman boxer. A woman that was born a woman, just a straight up woman, going against a person who was born a man, lived a life as a man until they were 21.
Born male, yeah.
Yeah, born male. Lived a life as a male until they were 21. Decided to be like, yo, I want to transition to be a woman. Now in society, they're considered female.
A woman.
A woman.
Sex and gender.
Yeah. So they're going against the woman. So now they're in the ring fighting. You don't think that that person who transitioned has a little advantage over the other person?
I mean, you can make that same argument. We all have different genetics. So maybe my genetics, I build muscle easier than someone. And then at that point, you're just kind of splitting hairs. I don't know.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, we don't ask questions.
No, I'm curious.
Huh?
I'm curious what you think.
I mean, I do feel that the trans person has an advantage. Yeah, that's why in sports, they don't let women compete against men.
Yeah, but that's why they're women competing with other women.
Yeah, well, that's true too. But I think, yeah. I think that's a mental. It's more of a mental thing.
I can see that.
Like mentally, I am a woman, but this body is male. You know.
What about when people are taking hormones? Like
That's
testosterone. So then
that's the change. That's the physically change.
Yeah, so the physically aren't they?
But does it really physically? I don't know. Does it really physically change you to the point where I don't know. I mean, like if you were born a male, you have certain
hormones, testosterone,
yeah, physical like shit.
Yeah.
Like my body is formed differently from yours, obviously.
Right.
But if I started taking pills to try to make my body like yours, it's not going to be exactly like yours. You understand what I'm saying? There's different. Let me explain this in a dumbed down way. Like shoes, for example, you have real shoes, like real Air Jordans that were made authentically, and then you have the knockoff Air Jordans. Now you can get you can get knockoff. Listen, you can have knockoff Air Jordans, right? That look exactly identical from the authentic Air Jordans.
Oh God!
But there's going to be a little detail. There's going to be a little detail in that knockoff Air Jordan. That you're going to know. That's going to be different.
I hear you.
I don't know. That's just an example.
Oh man.
But yeah, I mean, that's
not
why,
your strong suit, huh? It's okay.
That's why there's a big debate about this shit, you know?
I hear that.
Yeah, no, a lot of people are scared to fucking talk about it.
Yeah, I'm not scared to talk about it. I just don't have, like I said, I don't know how people's bodies change when different hormones are introduced. I don't really know how that works. And so I'm not going to make a judgment. And I feel like people that are having a debate are making a judgment on what they think is right or wrong. And so that's why I'd rather say, well, I just don't have an opinion on that. I'd rather do that than.
But if everyone was running around saying, oh, I don't have an opinion on things, how would things be solved?
So I have opinions on things that I know about and I can understand and be self-aware enough to know when my opinion may not matter and also when my judgment doesn't matter. So in this situation, it's like, well, everyone has opinions, right? What do they say? Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. So it's like, maybe mine doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, you heard it first. Clara's asshole doesn't matter. So, you used to be married, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
How long were you married for?
For about for a year or so. And then how do you know that?
I mean, I have my sources.
Oh, yeah. We talked about it, right? Duh.
We never talked about that.
No, we did.
Yeah. So, why did the marriage, do you want to talk about it or no?
We could talk about it.
Why did the marriage end?
I think at the time ultimately we're not right for each other. And I think at the time we were too young or immature enough to realize like just because you're good friends and you're good people, that doesn't mean that you would be good in a relationship together. And so we got to that point at the end of our marriage and we said, okay, let's just end things.
And at one point it was an open,
No.
No?
No. No, it was never open. It was always monogamous. Yeah.
Would you be in an open relationship?
I don't know. I was actually thinking about that last week. I know some people that are polyamorous and I don't know. I've never really considered it that deeply, but I'm not closed off to the idea. It's just something that hasn't happened.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you feel like you will be mature enough to be like, oh, your significant, your partner saying, I'm going out with this girl tonight. Or you'd be like, oh, you want to go to the movies tonight? He was like, no, I'm going to dinner with this other girl tonight. Then he doesn't come home until the next morning.
I think so. So something that I admire about the people that I know that are in open relationships is that they have really dope communication skills and they put in a lot of effort and a lot of work into their relationships, sometimes more than I've seen people in traditional traditional monogamous relationships. So to answer your question, I think so. And I think the reason why is because I'm really good friends with my ex-husband now. And it took us a while to get there, of course. And he's in a new relationship now and they're really happy together. And I never thought that when we were together, I never thought that I could ever see him with someone else and be really happy for him and celebrate that love. And so it kind of just made me think, well, maybe if my capacity for loving and understanding has grown this much, then maybe that translates with a new partner, someone that I am romantically interested in.
Has he ever asked you to join in the bedroom?
No. Why does everyone ask that?
Vibe I'm getting.
No, our friendship is platonic. And since we separated, we've been single at the same time. Like we've gone to Mexico together. We were both single.
Never hooked up?
Never hooked up. Once it was over.
Slept in the same bed?
It was over. No. Because, come on. Once it was over, it was over. So,
okay.
That's funny.
So you think a man and a woman can be like friends?
I think so, yeah. I was actually asking someone today if they thought that. I think so.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like you do?
No.
Why is that? Let's talk about
it. There's no reason for me to be hanging out with a chick unless I'm like trying to like fuck or something. I can't just hang out with a female. Like, yo, what's up? Let's go hoop or.
What if she's a really good hooper?
I mean, yeah, we can go hoop, but in the back of my mind, I'll be like, damn, I want to sleep with this woman. And that's not friendship.
Interesting.
Like friendship is like when you can like, there's no motive or anything. Yeah. And I don't think a man and a woman, especially an attractive man and a woman, could just be chilling and be like, oh yeah, we're just friends. Because if you ask, no matter like a woman, like women who have male friends, right? And then you talk to them, oh yeah, this is my friend. We've been friends for like years and shit. Nothing's ever happened. And then you ask them, well, let's say one night you and this male friend are sitting on the couch, right? Just watching TV and shit. And let's say you turn over to him and be like, I'm horny. Do you want to have sex? If he was really just your friend, he'll be like, no, shut the fuck up. I'm not trying to have sex with you. But no man will say that. He's gonna be like, shit, yeah, let's go. I've been waiting for this day.
I don't know. I hear what you're saying, and I have a couple really good guy friends, and I think if I
guarantee you they'll sleep with you.
I guarantee they would not.
So are they really your friends then?
Yeah, they are my friends.
All right, well.
I think that men and women can be friends, and it takes a lot of maturity and being intentional and just knowing yourself and your intentions, Okay, so but you consider them just friends, but they don't consider you just friends. How do you know that? Have you talked to them?
No, but I guarantee if you talk to them, be like, yo, is Clara your friend?
Yeah.
They'll probably be like, yeah, but I'm still trying to like get in that. So,
interesting.
So are they really, I guess it depends on your definition of friendship.
So what do you think about people that are bisexual? Do you think that they don't have any friends?
Yeah, that's different. That's different.
Is it how?
Yeah.
You're like
bisexual is like that's like sex and shit. Like who you're sexually.
Yeah.
Interested.
So let's say that you are into men and women. Does that mean you can't have any friends or you can't have friends that are men or women?
Yeah, you can have friends, but that's different. It's like a gay person who hangs out with guys.
But how? How?
What do you mean how?
How?
Like me, a straight man hanging out with another female, I'm sexually interested in this female.
But if you...
So if I was... that's why you have like gay... That's why gay men
Uh-huh.
usually hang around with females, right?
I don't
Because
know.
they're not interested in the female sexually at all.
Okay, so what if
What gay man do you know has a bunch of straight male friends?
what if you were into men? Does that mean you wouldn't be able to be friends with men?
No, it'll be the same. It'll be the same situation as me hanging out with a female. We wouldn't be really friends.
Okay.
Because there's sex. Like I want to like have sex with this girl.
Let's say you like having sex with women and men. Does that mean you can't have any friends? Because then anyone that you meet, you want to have sex with them?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
That sounds so lonely.
But I mean, just because you are gay doesn't mean you're sexually interested in all men. I'm just talking about the people that you're considering friends.
Right. I mean, I have friends, the guy friends that I have, I'm like, oh, they're attractive. And at the same time, like they're great guys. At the same time, I know that we wouldn't be compatible and we're not looking for the same thing.
Exactly. So you don't desire them sexually, but that same guy desires you sexually. So what I'm saying is women walk around saying, oh yeah, I have male friends, but guys don't. You think these guys are walking around saying, yeah, this is my friend, but yeah, they might say it, but secretly they would act at the drop of a dime if the opportunity presents themselves. So what I'm saying is truly...
Is this projecting right now?
Yes. Yes. So what I'm saying is you can't truly be friends, men and women. Cannot truly be friends. I just fucking describe it.
So let me back up a second. Let's say that you have a friend, or let's say I have a friend and he desires me sexually, and he knows that we are not compatible for anything else. Why does that mean that we still can't be friends? You know, like what does it mean to be a friend?
What it means to me to be a friend is first of all, you do not, there's nothing sexual or anything. It's just my friend. It's just because my friends are considered family. That's why I say like, yeah, I mean, if I'm with a female and I consider her my friend, she's like a family member to me. She's like a cousin or something. I don't sexually desire my cousins or my family. So that one example alone.
So what if I have a guy friend and he does consider me like family?
Yeah, then he might be your true friend because he doesn't look at you in a sexual way. Like you guys can sleep in the same bed and there will be no thought of like, oh, I want to touch her butt or something like that. There won't be no thought of that at all.
Interesting.
But the other guy will be up all night just looking at your butt, like waiting for you to move it close to his knee or something like that, you know? So yeah, that's not a true friend.
I agree. I do think that men and women can be friends. I think it takes a long time though. It takes years to develop that trust and that friendship. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when there's men, when you do see men and women who are like true friends, this might sound sad, but they look totally different.
How so?
Like you might see a fat girl with a guy.
What if he likes fat women?
with a skinny nerdy guy, and you know that they don't. They're not sexually. They don't sexually want each other in any way.
You're so funny. There's plenty of skinny nerdy guys that like fat women. I would think. Yeah, that was a stupid example, but I'm just talking about like what movies and shit. Saying, when you see movies, so are you talking about people that you would consider unattractive?
Well, I wouldn't just say I wouldn't just base on physical looks, but I'm just it's not even physical looks. It's just two different opposite people in anything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. To each their own, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I've had really rewarding friendships with some men. I think it's good to have friends from different perspectives, right?
Mm-hmm. Are the majority of your friends men?
No, I would say it's some of my closest friends. It's like 1-for-1.
Do you have a best friend?
Mm-hmm. I do.
It's a female.
She's a woman. Yes.
How long have you guys been friends?
I would say 8 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you do in tech?
What do I do in tech? I've done a lot of things. I've done digital security. I was a partner ops analyst. And most recently, I actually got a offer to be a recruiter at a tech company. So
how did you get into tech?
Actually, I got into tech. One of my first jobs was working at Radio Shack, and I realized that I liked figuring out how things worked, and it just appealed to me. I have a good brain for systems, so
basically what I'm trying to ask is when people get into tech, when you hear people say, "Oh, I work in tech," people assume that you went to college for like coding or something like that, human resources or project manager or whatever. So that's what how did you land a tech job?
I did an internship program. So then I was an intern. Then I got hired. Yeah.
Or were you interning at?
Just like a Fortune 500 company. I'd rather not say.
How did you get the internship?
Through the internship program, I got placed.
So this was a program to try to like bring minorities into tech?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they didn't care about if you had a background or not in tech?
No, they didn't.
So when you started work, when you first got your first job in tech, how did you feel about that? Because you're basically in a predominantly male environment and a predominantly white male environment, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think because of the interests that I've had, like Muay Thai and boxing, which are also predominantly male, and then the tech that I do, I felt fine. I didn't really feel out of place or anything. And the guys were really nice to me. So I didn't really feel any type of way.
Mm. But Muay Thai is not predominantly white males, right?
Where
like there's not a lot of frat boys saying dude and bro in Muay Thai.
Well, when I was an intern, it was a lot of nerdy white guys. So very different from, I guess, frat boys. They were just kind of introverted and just made silly jokes and like Star Wars. Like, I don't know.
A lot of sexual harassment going on?
No, not at all.
Are you the type?
You're like, that's not fun.
Are you the type that when you're at the lunch table, or like the lunchroom,
like
or whatever,
school or?
No, I'm talking about in your job.
My job,
And then there's a group of non-colored men making jokes about colored people.
I've literally never experienced that.
Are you the type that will just be like, or you be like, yo, Brad, shut the fuck up?
I've never experienced that.
But what would you do if that
happened? If they're talking to me, if I'm in...
No, they're not talking to you. They're just talking amongst themselves because they feel comfortable, obviously.
If they're talking amongst themselves, then I'm just going to mind my own business. I don't know them. But if I'm with them and we're sharing a meal and they say something, then I might just make a joke back.
So you're going to the refrigerator to get your salad and they're in the corner saying some racist shit. You're just going to be like, I'm getting my salad and going.
I mean, what am I going to do? Just walk around trying to tell people
this is just
how to live or try to change their mind, you know?
This is your answer. So you're just going to walk away?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know them.
Okay.
Yeah. What would you do?
I'll probably kick their ass and get fired.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
That's probably why I feel like I was born in the wrong era.
No, I feel you. I mean, I've definitely have gotten let go for standing up for what I believe in. But I think you have to choose your battles, and that's a battle that I would not choose to go up against.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That goes back to what I was saying before when we first started this interview. Mexicans who turn their head and be like, "Oh, I'm not going to get involved in this. My job is too important."
No. It's not.
So it all comes back.
It's not about that. Trust me, because like I said, I literally got fired for standing up for my students. But and I'll definitely have stood up for people before. I don't shy away from that. It's just in the scenario that you described. I don't know the context. I don't know. I'm just going to walk in and just like walk in guns blazing. Like I heard, that's kind of strange to me personally. And I think it also shows a lack of boundaries on my part if I went and just started like, hey, I heard you say, it's like, no. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Let me give you another same scenario.
Yeah.
This same group of white men are in there in the break room. Mm-hmm. There's an oversized woman in there.
Okay.
And then they're all like talking about her, like, you need to lose weight. You look too big and all this stuff, making like jokes about her weight. And then you walk in to get your salad and you hear it. What would you do?
I would tell them to fuck off.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you'll say something then, but you won't say something about if they're talking about your people.
I mean, like I said, it just...
Why would you feel the need to be so brave and stand up in that scenario than the other?
Yeah, because in the second scenario, there's someone that's being affected, and it would feel important for me to let them know that they're seen and that someone has their back and is willing to stand up for them and say something for them.
Do you think, but do you think it's more because even though in the first scenario, they're making jokes about Mexican people, they're talking about all people, so it doesn't
Are they funny jokes, though? I think that's the real answer
they're
here.
Not funny.
Because if they're funny, then I might laugh.
Well, funny or not.
That matters. Are your jokes factual? Or are they actually humorous or lazy jokes?
Well... They're white guys, so obviously they're not
So if they're
funny.
Bad jokes, then I'm going to be like, oh, well, you're not funny.
But they're real offensive jokes.
But
anyway, let me finish what the fuck I'm saying. So
okay.
The first scenario, do you think you stand it up, you're so brave in that second scenario? Because the first scenario, right, they're talking about Mexicans.
Yeah.
And that's a whole wide range of people. But I mean wait. Okay. There's women, men, like all that, and people you don't even know. So those, you can be like, oh, this doesn't really... Even though I'm Mexican, that doesn't really relate to me personally. They're not saying Clara. But,
no, that's not why I wouldn't say anything.
But listen, but then the second scenario is a woman, and you're a woman, so it hits you harder. It feels more like they're actually, you understand what I'm saying? Like it hits you. It hits you more. It
hits me harder. I fucking hate bullies, so that's why. I think it's messed up when someone takes advantage of their power dynamic and then uses it against someone else. I think it's like being a bully is one of the most cowardly things you could do. So that's why.
All right.
If it was a fat guy and people were making fun of him, I'd still stand up for that guy.
Oh, you would?
Yeah.
Really?
Of course.
I don't think you would.
Okay.
I think you'll walk out just like you did when they were making jokes. I feel like the reason you would stand up is because there's a whole lot of reasons, but the most profound one is because she's a woman and you're a woman.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you say so.
So, how long have you had this job that you're at now?
Oh, I just got a job offer last week, so I'll start in September.
Oh, okay. What will you be doing there?
Recruiting.
So just trying to bring people on? You want to name the company you work for?
I'd rather not.
It's in San Francisco? So what kind of jobs will you be recruiting for?
Anyways, next question.
You don't want to answer that? You can't say what type of jobs you're looking for people to fill?
Tech jobs.
Tech jobs? I mean, there's a shit ton of tech jobs, right?
I don't know yet. I haven't started.
So. All right. I mean, maybe a listener might want to get into tech and, want to contact you.
That's true, yeah. That's a good point.
What's a job that in tech that you can get that you don't really have a background in?
I'm not really sure.
No.
Are you trying to get into tech? No, I mean,
I'm trying to get into tech.
Varies so much. I mean, I think the better question is, what do you want to be doing? And then how do your skills transfer over to whatever you want to be doing?
See, that's the crazy thing. No one knows. Because everyone says, oh, I work in tech. Okay. What does that mean? Like, are you a janitor working at Yahoo? Are you a project manager? And if you're a project manager, what exactly are you doing? Are you a coder? Like, what do you do? Like, do you create apps? Like,
so yeah, I mean, everything you just said. It's just really, but yeah, project manager, program manager, recruiter, sales.
But then, like, do you have to have a degree to get these fucking jobs? Or can you just know someone like you? Be like, yo, I want to.
I mean, yeah, but to both. You can just know someone. Yeah.
Did they instruct you to look for minorities?
I don't know. I haven't started yet. So
I think that's what they're gonna.
Yeah. Actually, my ex-husband just got a job at a tech company, and
Do you work for Google?
He doesn't have like that background, but he knew someone, and his skills transferred over. So it's definitely doable.
And what job is that?
It's in sales.
Oh yeah, sales. Yeah, I don't want to do no sales. That's
really.
Sure.
I think you could do sales.
I mean, I could, but I don't want to. I don't like sales. I don't like talking. Even though
interesting.
Even though I have a podcast, I do not like to.
Interesting choice of a project.
Well, I just do this to shine light on people I think a lot of people, other people should know about.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you what made you want to bring me on.
Yeah, that's why it's called Everyday Celebrity.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like that's why I don't like being asked questions. I just want to chill and listen to what other people have to say.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, this is your time to promote. If you want to promote anything that you want to promote, if you want to tell the people your social media handles so they can follow you, reach out to you.
Sure.
They need coaching in Muay Thai.
Yeah, I do boxing coaching.
Yeah,
and I do a sliding scale. I'm specifically, and not specifically, but my target is femmes. So I want to help people like become empowered. So let's see. And I'm also working on getting a personal training certificate. And I'm working on becoming a yoga, trauma-informed yoga teacher. And I'll have that by November. So lots of things coming up.
Nice.
But yeah, people could follow me at El Bandito Guapo. So it's EL_BANDITO_GUAPOO. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Clara, for coming on Everyday Celebrity Podcast. Everybody, you already know my handles. You can find me on Jordan Owandi, or that's JORDANOWANDI, or Everyday Celebrity Media CO on Instagram. Everyday Celeb PO on Twitter. And yeah, check out the news updates, buy merch on everydaycelebritymedia.com, and subscribe on YouTube, Everyday Celebrity Media Company. That's the most important thing, subscribing on YouTube. Get my
subscribe on YouTube. Yeah. Is that where this is going?
Eventually, yeah.
Fun. Okay.
So yeah, get my subs up. You know, let's get a homegrown organic company to the top.
Yeah. But thanks for having me. This is fun.
Any last words?
Just I don't know. Do chaotic good. That's my
chaotic good.
I coined that term. Yeah. Just do good. Nice. Do chaotic good.
I like that. Mm-hmm. Do chaotic good, everybody. We're out. You.